got this glare right here. We are live. We are back. I know we took a 1 week hiatus. We had storms, internet issues, but we're back.
Yep.
And we adapted, we overcame. Today, we're talking about a lot of things. We got the Playbook event. What is it? 5 days away, a couple days away in Nashville.
I know. I'm so excited.
And we were just talking through the first day. And what I'm so excited about, Galen, you're going to be teaching workshop style. I'm going to do workshop style and really moving the needle in your business. But before we get to needle movers, and what did we just say? How do I say it?
Nail day.
Nail day movers. We are needle movers, not nail day movers.
No.
But before we get there,
a little typographical error. It's okay.
Thank God that we got Galen here to make sure I don't make any grammatical mistakes.
I even look like the school teacher today. Where's your glasses?
I am ready at any time. Okay, you never know.
You didn't have them on. That's why it was nil day.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't see. That's it. But before we get there, we got the big event coming next week, and we have virtual tickets left, and we have a handful of in-person tickets left. And what I'm about to get into is if you knew that somebody could move the needle. And when I say move the needle, what does that mean? Drive results, measurable results in your business. Why would you not do anything you could to show up and attend, whether virtual or in person? And if you really think back, and I'm curious of your answer on this, Galen, if I think back over the last 10 years of being in the industry, of people that truly moved the needle in my business and drove measurable results, it's a very, very small list.
Yes, very small.
My point being with that, if I could find somebody that could drive results, I would do anything I could to work with them and learn from them. Mm-hmm. So that's my question to you is, how many people, I mean, you've been in the industry a lot longer than I have. How many people have moved the needle in your business, or can you think back, and is that a long list, short list?
You know, it'll be 41 years this year. And I would say I probably have 5, 7 that I would consider at the top of that. There's always those little needles, and sometimes they're kind of like the splinter needle, right? It's like you get going with them, and then they're the person that thinks they're moving your business, so they kind of take charge. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to set boundaries. So I think one of the things we're trying to really get across to everybody with that today is that, yes, you want to find the needle mover, but sometimes that's not always a person. Sometimes it's a system. Sometimes it's a carrier, product, so you've got to look at those things that make you stand out. For me, there's 2 really, really important ones for me right off the bat. And that would be when Aetna decided to co-brand a product with me. That right there was probably massive in my business at the time, because when you've been in the underage 65 market and Aetna comes to you and says, hey, we want to work with you, we want you to design a product for us, that was pretty good needle mover.
Yeah.
And look at that kind of like with you, Chase, with some of the agents that I've talked to over the last year that have actually started working with you. You've been their needle mover in their business. And I think a lot of times when we think needle, we think a person, or we think, just a producer. Sometimes when you get attached to one producer and they get too big for their britches, that can also set your business back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I think one of the things that I've learned about what really moves in my business is, what is something that I can put my hands around and go, okay, if I invest in this today, and I'll give you the example with Aetna, for almost 2-3 years, I invested in that deal, making zero money for 2 to 3 years. But that relationship since 2013, when they weren't even writing $500,000 a year of cancer business, to having a record month of over $4.2 million of annualized premium in 1 month in the summer, when agents aren't even technically thinking there's any business to get, right? That right there's a needle mover. working with Chase and all you've ever been doing is just selling Med Advantage, but now you're learning how to sell ancillary with the umbrella system. If I'm Chase, I look at that umbrella system as a needle mover. I look at my 30, 60, 90 as a needle mover.
Absolutely.
YouTubes that I put out 10 years ago that people still tell me that they watch that I thought were so lame, they moved needles in people's business. It was a needle mover for them. For me, I look back at it and go, oh, I didn't look very good in that. I was unpolished. I didn't know what I was doing. But, that was a needle mover for me, too, because it got attention to people like you who said, I want to meet Galen. And, like I saw your system and I go, hey, I want to know more about what you're doing. Those are needle movers. And I think when you're sitting there and you're depressed about your business or you didn't see the growth or the movement you wanted last year, don't focus on that solely. Focus on the gratitude. Focus on what was great in your business and how do you move that to this year? How do you do more of that? How do you find more of that? And, when Coach G and I got on today and he said, Galen, I want to talk about the needle mover. I was like, okay, what the hell are we going to talk about? But we had a great announcement yesterday that we've shared with a small group. All of you folks that are in the Coach G huddle and are watching.
Big announcement coming on the Coach G live session. Here we go.
This is a needle mover. This is a huge needle mover because your income is getting ready to double. If you didn't hear that, I'm going to repeat it. Because I had an agent a couple of weeks ago says, if that happens, Galen, my income's going to double. And she caught it just like that. So we have this HI Select plan with Manhattan Life that we've been writing a ton in the underage 65 space. Well, it was paying a 30% comp to the street. Do I have a drum roll?
I'm gonna do my best.
That comp, as of yesterday, is 60% to the street.
The queen of the bundle strikes again. Speak softly and carry a big stick. She does it again.
Well, and I have to give my team credit for that because they have been out there, especially Sean Hendricks and Taylor Martin. They have been pounding the pavement with Manhattan going, this is being written in a market that is so good for you guys. We need to pay the agents more. And they have just been beating that drum. And here we are today. And let me tell you what markets this works in, Chase. All of our agents that are in the Medicare business, first of all, you're getting to write this product all ages. But when you write this product in a house where you've got a 65-year-old and a 60-year-old, and that 60-year-old is like, oh my gosh, I had to go on a bronze plan. My deductible is $10,600. On this HI Select plan for very little money, you're getting to come at them and go, hey, for around $1 a day, would you rather Manhattan Life pay that $10,600, or do you want to keep paying it? How easy is that? That is a needle mover.
$1 a day keeps the doctor away.
100%, or the deductible away for right now.
Yep, there you go. $1 a day keeps the deductible away. That sounds better.
Buddy. You know me, I'm pretty good at that. I do the pivoting thing pretty fast. I'm about as good as Muhammad Ali in a boxing ring. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so then the other market, you've got these people out there that are married to your 65-year-old customer. Take my situation, for instance. My husband, he's not there yet. He'd kill me for saying this, but he's going to be 73 next week. I'm 62, okay? We already know the deal with Aetna Chaz. We get a great discount by me being 62 and him being 73, which gets us more coverage. So with that savings that you just showed them on the cancer plan, now you can write them this Manhattan Life's HI Select plan and overcome their deductible on their group plan.
Love it.
Because all these group health insurance, the way they're keeping their premiums low is raising their what? Out of pocket deductibles. Okay. Then you got these clients that are retiring and they're out there going, I don't know what to do for health insurance. Well, guess what next week's going to happen? Y'all are going to get to see me at the Playbook event showing you how to take those customers into a private health insurance bundle. But now you're going to be able to put the HI Select alongside that at double the comp. And what's great about this private bundle is none of these plans coordinate. You're going to get paid all your money. And you get to have a surplus in your bank account instead of figuring out what you're going to owe the hospital or what you're going to owe the doctor. Because the original Coach G is going to come to Nashville and coach you guys on how we have a life organization right in all this health business. So if you're a life agent, if you're a health agent, if you're a MedSup, MedAdvantage, one-hit wonder agent, we're going to blow your freaking mind on Monday. And Chase and I just decided to skip lunch, which I can afford to. I got a few pounds I can lose.
Same. Summer's coming up. I got to get ready.
Yeah, we got to get him G-string ready. But anyway, here's where we're going. Yes, I said that. Look at him blushing. So we are going to have a Q&A for everything in the morning session that we didn't get to answer your questions on. So make sure you get your lunch at 12 straight up, swallow it, come back in there at 12:30, be ready to have some one-on-one time with us. And then after the lunch break, we're going to see how many people that we didn't get to, and then we're going to hold another Q&A at 5 o'clock. And then we'll figure out somewhere we can go to dinner and hang out some more. We will make sure that every question that you need answered, you get answered. And then Coach G doesn't even know I'm going to say this, but we're going to figure out. That's what's great about having me on these sessions.
I love the unpredictability. Throw it at us.
Is we're going to host a coach to coach session here in Fort Worth, Texas. And we hope to announce the date there where all of you get to come into the stockyards. We'll have great time. We'll have some really good workout sessions. I call them workout sessions.
I like that.
Sections. Woo! Workout sections. But workshop sessions.
Quick question. Is Billy Bob's, is that in Fort Worth?
Woohoo! It sure is. And I am a Billy Bob's Country Club member.
I have not been there in forever. I think I saw Travis Tritt there. I want to go back to Billy Bob's when we go to
Well, we'll do it that night. We'll figure out how to get us all there. Like go have some dinner, go around the country.
I want to go through day one here. This thing is stacked.
Yes.
Day one, 9 a.m. kickoff. This is Monday. So again, you can get a virtual ticket and we still have some in person. I would love to see some people out there to say, like, these people can help me. I'm going to find a way to get there in the next couple of days. But if not, we got the virtual. So 9 a.m.
It's only, wait a minute.
Yep.
They can still use the codes to get it for the low price of $148.
You can use Galen 50. No one really knows that. It's still live. So Galen's letting out the sauce. She's costing me money right now, per usual. Another woman in my life costing me money. Galen 50. That's all you got to do is type that in there. You can get 50% off of your virtual or in-person ticket. But 9 o'clock kicks off. I'll be kicking us off with the frame of the blueprint, which is optimize, amplify, scale, teaching you exactly how to generate more revenue in your business, generate more leads, and hire, attract, and develop more people. So that's the big concept. I'm going to start there, and then we're going to break it down throughout the day. Right after that, Galen's going to come on, going to be really getting in depth on product and moving the needle in your business. How do you double your income, triple your income without any additional work? And I think there's nobody Nobody. I'm going to make a very strong statement here. I don't think there's anybody in the industry better than Galen and I at teaching people how to double and triple their income without any additional work. And that's how you become a true needle mover. Is we can literally drive results in your business without spending any additional dollars or without working harder. It's just improving your process and enhancing that. And then you can duplicate it across your agency, and it allows you to grow at such a large level. So Galen will be right after me, just a 1-2 punch.
Dream team.
1-2 punch. And then right after that, we got a break, and Travis Gove, my national sales director, will hit the stage. And he is the one that when we hire an agent, they go to Travis and he gets them to $20,000 in revenue a month, about 45 to 50 apps a month and $20,000 a month in revenue. That's what we deem optimized. So if you're not doing 40, 50 apps a month, I mean, that's our standard. And obviously we exceed that, but that's the minimum that we're willing to accept in our agency. And we're going to teach you exactly how we do that.
Okay. Wait. We got to put in a question there.
Yep.
So ask yourself, what would an increase of 40, because the average agent writes 10 apps a month.
Yep.
What would increasing your monthly revenue to 40 apps a month do? Travis will show you the system. We will show you the math. It's simple, guys. Don't sit there and feel all depressed and sad about your business last year. Get in the room.
I'm counting it up right now of our LOA agents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of our 13 active LOA agents right now have more than one policy per day on the month. And I'm telling you, when you start surrounding yourself with people where the standard is 40, 50 apps a month, you have no choice but to start doing that. And I really believe to have success in this industry, you have to be a championship producer first to become a championship team or a championship agency owner. So if you're not optimized on that front end, on the sales process, it's going to be really hard for you to grow or hire people. Because let's use this example. If we were both trying to hire the same agent and I showed them how I could teach them how to write 50 apps a month and you're only doing 10 or 15, who are they going to work for? Right? So we've got to work on that. That is the foundation of everything we teach. And Galen, I love how you're interjecting there because I get going. So pause me.
I'm thinking about that because I'm watching it like all of you are. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there are so many times when I tell an agent that the average is 10 apps a month and they go, and I know the minute their head swoops that way, they're not writing 10 apps a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're not writing the average and you have an average person, because I know the type of people that Chase hires. It's the same person I hired. They're normal, everyday people. They just have strong work ethic. And I wrote down what Chase said. And if you're not a writer down of information, that's your mistake number one, because you won't retain it. So bring a notebook with you to this event. 11 of his 13 agents wrote more than one policy a day. Okay, so let's just break that down. One policy a day, and I'm just going to go to April because it's 30 days. So we'll just use a 30-day month. They wrote 30 policies. That's at one a day, but that's not what he said. He said more than one policy a day. So let's just call it 2. So now we got 60 policies. Your head went this way because you're not writing 10. So when you really truly want to sit there and just be mad and angry and sad, that's not moving a needle in your business. That's stopping everything to a halt. And you're going to go nowhere fast. So what you have to do is you have to start by surrounding yourself by the right people. You have to have the right products in your portfolio. And I know that's all fancy schmancy for sell the right deal. Okay. But I'm a big believer in sell something. And I'll say this till the day I die. I don't care if it's politically correct or not, because I think it's
private
true.
health insurance bundle.
I think it's the right thing for you to believe. But not everybody you talk to is Helen Keller. And Helen Keller beat all odds. I am a Helen Keller fan. That's why I teach this in my sessions. But everybody you talk to needs your dental, vision, and hearing plan. And for you not to sell a policy a day is unacceptable. There are dentist offices on every corner that you could be walking into and helping people save 18% interest on a root canal and crown, but you're too lazy to get up off your behind, walk into dental offices and say, listen, can I put this guaranteed issue dental product in your window so that your clients no longer have to pay 18% interest for your services? You are not going to get a single person to tell you no, because they don't like charging their clients 18% interest. But to this day, I'll have agents go, how did you come up with that idea? Okay, first of all, I'm a salesperson. That's first. How do I get more people to know what I do? I've got to get people to help me do that. When you go into a cancer facility and say, hey, I want to put my cancer brochure in your window, might be a little late for those people. But a dentist office, they don't mind asking you for $2,000. And then your poor little senior you're selling is not just paying $2,000. They're paying $2,000 plus 18% interest now, because the person behind the desk said, fill this out. You'll get automatic approval. And now we're going to operate on you. We're going to do your crown. Is that really helping people? I personally don't think so. So if you want to get out of this stagnant place you're in, you have to get in the room with people who are doing it, who have helped other people, and whose hearts are in the right places. That's number one. Number two, you have to learn a system. And you can't be lazy. You have to work. Chase, what is the average work day of your LOA agent? How many?
I mean, it's nothing crazy. We have an all-team meeting every day at 8:30. Everybody's on that team meeting. And then most people's last call is at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. But those 8 hours are extremely optimized and efficient. Our salespeople only sell. They spend every moment they can talking to people, helping people, and solving problems, right? At the end of the day, you solve problems, you make money. And that's what people don't understand, is when you sell multiple products, you're solving multiple problems. And if you're not offering multiple products, in my opinion, you're not doing your job, and you're not solving legitimate problems, which are major gaps in cancer, heart attack, and stroke, major gaps in skilled nursing. If you don't know about skilled nursing, it is the absolute biggest gap there is in Medicare. It's going to be the biggest exposure that anyone will ever face in their lifetime. Costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars after day 100. Nothing covers it. Omniflex with Manhattan, Aetna Recovery Care, Bankers Fidelity has an option. GTL has a home care. Heartland has a home care. There's so many different products out there. We always say focus on one when you're starting, but there's so many different products out there that can cover up massive needs, and it's our job to know about them. But I want to go to what Galen said there, and let's focus on, okay, you're not happy with where you're at, or you're not happy with your growth. Here's what's going to happen if you don't do anything, right? You're going to be stuck in the same place. You're going to have the same revenue next year, maybe 5 or 10% growth. That sounds miserable to me, right? 5 or 10% growth. You're going to be having the same issues and the same problems a year from now. So if you don't want to, if you don't want to grow, do nothing. That's what it comes down to. Just sit here, be entertained, and do nothing.
Well, I don't know if the audience really calculated what you just said. But basically, your people are working 37 to 40-hour week, which I hate to disappoint a lot of people, but that is a normal work week. I know farmers and ranchers that work double that and don't make what you could make.
Yep.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is think about the word stuck and think about the word stagnant. Part of the coaching I do with people is start getting them to really dig deep. You know, when I hear the word stagnant, I think of stinky sewer, just nasty. And I don't want to ever put myself in that kind of situation. So how do I get out of that situation? Well, first of all, you're on this call. So congratulations.
Absolutely.
You've made step one. Step two is how do I surround myself around people that are not stagnant, that are not stuck, that are moving the needle, that are creative, that are fun to be around. You know, I very rarely find a creative person that's not fun. So when you're around those people, they're building you up and you don't even know it. One day you'll be driving down the highway and you're like, man, I feel really good today. And then you give yourself credit for that. You don't give yourself credit for, hey, I put myself in the right place. That's what you give yourself credit for. Then you give the people that are building you up. Thank you for that. A grateful heart. People ask me all the time how I stay motivated and excited. I get asked that probably 3 or 4 times a day, which cracks me up. I think it's because, number one, I truly love what I do. 2, I love helping people. And 3, I don't ever want another person in my mother's situation. You can't always control death. There are some people that cause themselves to die, but 90% of the time you can't control when you're going to die, right? But you can control how you live. And so if you are older and you plan on being older and want to be around for your kids and your grandkids, you want to be able to take the best care of yourself. And that starts with good health insurance. We all sell health insurance. It starts with having a great plan so that if, God forbid, you get disabled by cancer or heart attack and stroke, you've got a great pot of money over here, that you're not stressed out about your bills. Okay? That's another great thing. Third thing, you start climbing to your 50s and 60s. You're going to be healthier if you're taken care of at home. Home health care plan. God forbid if you're on a Med Advantage plan and they say you need 20 skilled days, but your Medicare Advantage plan says, but we're only going to approve 3 to 4. Well, you're stressing yourself out trying to figure out how to get another day. I was with somebody last week that only got approved for 3 days of skilled nursing and her feet are turned in like this. If she had a short-term recovery care plan or an Omniflex or any of the companies that Chase just mentioned, she doesn't have to get stressed out about that. You took care of her. She has a plan. When you prepare your clients properly and you teach them how to plan properly, they are already planning not to fail. These people who fail to plan are going to fail. It's a fact. So your job is simple. You ask 2 or 3 questions. We teach our children to do that at an early age. You already know how to ask, you're just afraid of it. But I would be more afraid of the complaint you're going to get from your client's children when they call you and say, why didn't you sell my mom a cancer plan? Why didn't you sell my mom a home health care plan? Why didn't you call me? I could have bought that. I don't have thousands of dollars, but I have dollars. But you didn't even ask. To me, that's selfish. So when I know I've asked everybody 3 times and I've done my job, I've solved the problem of ignorance, I can't solve the problem of sometimes making stupid decisions, but I can solve the problem of ignorance. And I'm going to get a declination form signed every time. Every time. Not one time. Every time.
That's you believe in what you're offering so much that you literally need, and I won't even say believe that, like that's how important it is that the client needs to understand how important your recommendation is, that they sign a declination form that says, hey, I acknowledged that Galen recommended an umbrella plan to me and I declined it. And that takes the ownership. We've done everything we can at that point. I mean, because when it comes down to it, our job is to present the products and the client's job is to object or commit. And sometimes they are not going to buy it. That's going to happen. Sometimes they're not going to buy it. But in our case, over 75% of the time, they're going to take your recommendation because you're the expert. You know what you're doing. Just like when I go to a doctor, I don't argue with the doctor, right? You have got to be the doctor. But if they refuse your recommendation, that's on them. And we're going to have them sign a declination form acknowledging our recommendation. So when that daughter, when that loved one calls, hey, I went over this with your mother. I went over this with your father, and they refused it. And that's something I can live with.
100%. And you said something that was golden there, the object or commit. You know, in your presentation, you should be the whole presentation, especially in the first 5 to 10 minutes, you should be getting those objections or commitments at the first 5 to 10 minutes. Because if you don't get them in the first 5 to 10 minutes and you get it at the end of an hour, if you're an attorney, you have to answer for that to your law firm. What did you do with every hour of your 40 hours? I've set myself up to think that way. So every minute of every day, I'm investing in my business. Now, it might be like the Aetna thing I told you guys about, where 2 to 3 years, I didn't make any money, but I knew the long-term plan. Same thing with Manhattan Life when Obamacare came out, and I had all these kiddos with no coverage. I went to David Harris. David Harris was a needle mover for me. He took all those kiddos, and then we designed a plan that's now called the Affordable Choice, now called the Affordable Choice Enhanced. We enhance that plan every year intentionally because we don't want complaints on the product. We want the client happy with their coverage. And when you think about what Chase just said about an umbrella, you know, I was on a cruise last week for vacation and we were in this beautiful place and everybody was looking forward to it. And it rained cats and dogs in San Juan. Well, San Juan is uphill cobblestone. And I'm with, you know, I'm middle-aged compared to this group of people. There's some people older than me and people then younger than me. And I'm just trekking up the hill and I went and got me a poncho and I look like Little Red Riding Hood, but I'm having a great time because I refuse to be stagnant. I've already invested the money to be there. I'm going to enjoy it. Most people would say, I'm going back on the boat. What are you going to do on the boat? You're missing a day of vacation. Umbrella, if you don't get them an umbrella, you're causing them to be in the rain. You're causing them.
They're exposed.
You didn't bring the umbrella to them to buy. They have the option of buying the umbrella or saying no. You're not tying their hands and forcing them to buy the umbrella. We don't do that in our business. Contrary to what a lot of people believe. We ask them 3 times, we move on. You know, I truly believe that no is spelled backwards. You just move on to the next. But when you get 3, you've done your job. You've offered them an umbrella to get them out of the rain. You've protected them against that. So when that kiddo calls you, say, hey, I offered it to them. I have the plan. I would love to write that on you. You're 50 years of age. It's the perfect age for you to write it. And you now know what will happen if you don't have this plan. So maybe you missed mom, but you got a chance of getting her kiddos. That's why I say always ask who helps you make your financial decisions. I'm not talking your monthly premium. Anybody can afford zero. What I'm talking about is who's going to pay these big holes for you. Who's going to fill in the dirt?
Who's going to fill in the dirt? I like that.
You know, and if you're at an oncology clinic and you've got your adult child there, and there's a difference of $10,000 between you getting oncology treatment and living, that adult child's going to find $10,000. And they may have to borrow against their home. They may have to sell something. Well, if you're their agent, they don't have to do any of that. They just got to pay $1 a day.
Keeps it up.
Why wouldn't you want to do that for your client? So many of you want to just keep sitting on the bench, but you want to complain that you're not being brought out to play the game.
And I think the biggest thing too is what we're talking about is kind of the finish line here, making the recommendation, the client commits or objects. But what we're going to teach you is all the way from the client needs assessment. How do you ask the questions? How do you systematically work through a presentation to where it isn't so uncomfortable, icky, or sticky at the end? Exactly how to ask the questions, exactly how to make a recommendation, and exactly how to have confidence in the product. Because a lot of people are sitting here probably thinking, well, I don't know how to ask. I don't know about the products. Well, that's a lack of knowledge and confidence. We can train on that. We can fix that. What I can't fix is your desire to grow. And what I always say is if you have a desire to grow, we can help you scale the moon. But you have to have a desire to be better, to get better, and do what's right by your client. And I think that's the biggest gap I see is people not being open to growth or change.
Belief in yourself.
And I want to make sure we've only made it to 10:30 on the first day's schedule. So after Travis, so again, he's going to be teaching exactly how we do a client needs assessment. What are the exact questions we ask? We ask 10 questions at every single agent. I'm about to go on our sales floor today. On Wednesday, I go out to our sales floor. Well, I'm not going to lie. This is the first Wednesday I'm going out to the sales floor. And I'm going to coach all day long. And I can't wait. We're going to have to do content, and I'm going to be coaching. There's like 6 reps out there waiting for me right now. And they should all sound exactly the same when going through a client needs assessment. A consistent process equals consistent results. An inconsistent process equals inconsistent results. So I'm going to be looking out there. Do we sound the same? Do we ask questions the same way? Do we make the same recommendations? What are the objections that I'm hearing? So that's exactly what we're going to be teaching on next week is the exact same flow that we teach our agents, the exact same questions, and how we make recommendations and how we handle objections. So I can't wait to be doing that all day. So after that, Joe Pate is going to tune in virtually. His wife is having a baby any day, so he's got to be virtual. And one of the most what's the word I'm looking for? What people don't realize that's allowed us to grow so fast is what I call the hidden revenue stream, which is annuity revenue. So we are just like everybody else out there. We market exclusively to Medicare beneficiaries. All of our marketing dollars, we're going to spend over $2 million in marketing this year. And all of those dollars go towards Medicare beneficiaries, 64 and older. But from those Medicare beneficiaries, through our process that we're going to be teaching on Monday and Tuesday, we teach you how to ask retirement questions. And it's very simple. We uncover people that have 401ks or retirement accounts that need to roll over to now they're focused on income and protection and growth and preservation. Well, we take those Medicare leads and we generate this annuity revenue stream from annuity production, a whole new product line. And if you're not doing that, number one, you can refer it out, and you should be doing that. So we're going to teach you how to do that. And that's brought in a 7-figure revenue stream to our agency the last couple of years.
And you do know, everybody write this down. No one, 0 people have ever lost a dime of principal in a fixed annuity, an
Exactly.
insurance product. Never. And a 1035 exchange is the simplest form for 401ks, SEP plans, IRAs. It is a paper sale, and seniors love it.
And we've done over $1 million in rollovers this month to date. And again, haven't spent a single dollar on annuity marketing. So what would that do for your business if you could bring out a whole new revenue stream but not spend any additional money? So we're going to teach you that. And I'm telling you, that's, in my opinion, kind of a gate-kept area of the Medicare industry. And we're going to throw it all out there so you can see it. Then we're going to lunch. And Galen and I, like I said, we're skipping lunch because beach season's coming. And we're going to teach you everything we can over that lunch hour. Go get a quick lunch, 15, 20 minutes, go grab something, bring it back. Galen and I will be workshopping specific products. So we'll be talking hospital indemnity, Omniflex. We'll be talking affordable choice. We'll be talking CHS, everything.
Annuities,
really anything that you want. I mean, this is for you at the end of the day. We could talk about whatever we want to talk about all day, but that's what I think we do best is we find out what you need, and there's no like script. We're going to really cater this thing to you. So we're going to kind of have a working lunch there, come back, and then Matt Monticelli, our director of digital integrations and marketing, is going to teach you exactly how we bring in over 1,000 turning 65 leads a week to our agency. So we'll bring in, we're targeting 90,000 leads this year to our internal agency. We're going to show you exactly how we do that, exactly how we automate them, exactly how we nurture them, and how do we pre-educate them? Because all of our clients come to us pre-educated, they're high intent, they know about the umbrella before a salesperson has ever spoke to them. What would that do for your business if somebody showed up to your appointment and you're placing an order? It's like they're coming to the McDonald's drive-thru, you're McDonald's, and they say, hey, I want a med sup, a cancer, heart and stroke, a recovery care, and a dental. How cool would that be? That's exactly what we're going to teach you. And then Chris Hunt, our director of business development, is going to come in and teach you how we attract, hire, and develop people. Like, how do you onboard people? How do you get somebody to want to come work for you? I think that's one of the hardest things on the planet is to attract people, develop people, retain people, make people want to be a part of your company. Like why would somebody want to come work for you? How do you teach that? And then Jeff Sams, one of our good buddies, both of us from Liberty Bankers. I think they're a dark horse. I really do. They've got a great ancillary portfolio. Their CHS comp is top 3 in the industry right now. They've got a great hospital indemnity product, a plan match tool, and they're very aggressive in the market right now because they are, I wouldn't say minor league, but they're having to fight for their business right now, which I love when somebody's out there being scrappy, trying to fight. So they're doing some really unique stuff. And Jeff Sams, integrity partner, just a great human being, a good friend
and
of ours. Funny, hilarious, talks like this, 6'5", talks like this.
Yeah.
Just a great guy. And then Galen's going to close. We bring in the closer. The queen of the bundle is coming back to close us out on day one. So we have a jam-packed day one, and then we'll do something fun in the evening that we'll announce as well. So if you're not there, I have no idea why. Because again, if we go back to the start of this thing, I would do anything I possibly could to work with somebody that could drive results in my business. And day one is full of needle movers. So that's all I got today. I mean, I think this is one of our best, Galen. I think this is one I'm fired up.
I'm so excited. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. We'll try to get our Fort Worth date set soon. We'll work on that while we're in Nashville. And, guys, we're just so glad y'all join us and spread the word. We try to keep this Tuesday at 10, but we're busy. So last week we're not. I was vacationing. But this week we tried to
find a way. You show up, we'll show up. Hey, right. Let us know if you're liking these. Comment below, give us some engagement, and let us know. We feed off the energy, right? Yep. So let us know if you're tuning in. Let us know if you enjoyed it, and we'll probably do one live Sunday as we're getting ready for the event. And obviously we'll be off next Tuesday because we'll be at the event. So get a virtual, and you'll get 2 full days of this where we're going to be teaching you how to bring in more revenue, how to generate more leads, and how to hire more people. And I found over the last 10 years, you need one of those 3 things. I guarantee you, one of those 3 things you need right now in your business.
Absolutely. Well, great to be with you again, Coach. I will see you on Sunday.
Yeah.
In person.
Love it.
We love all y'all tuning in. Like Coach G said, tell us what you like. Tell us who you want to see. Maybe there's somebody we need to bring on here.
Yeah, I think we're ready to bring on a guest. I think we'll
Yeah.
change it up and bring on a guest here.
Maybe Travis will be our first.
Yeah, never forget your first. It'll come.
First needle.
Love
All
it.
right, guys.
Have a great week, Galen.
Bye.